But it turns out that while the company was protecting consumers' pocketbooks, it was not doing the same for the environment.
Chile's environmental regulator has fined Barrick Gold more than $60 million.
May have a huge impact on the price of crude oil.
Coke employees were dressed up in army uniforms and given the completely made-up name of technical observers.
With that, we're back again. I'm Darren Howard.
I'm Robert Nisbet.
And I'm Kendra Cooper.
It's so good to be with you here today because we're talking about corporations, corporate welfare, and the way that big banks are driving things into the ground. Why? Well, because we're Radio Free Canada.
Yeah.
Independent media for the intellectual mind, bringing you more fun than you can shake a stick at. But what do you want to shake a stick for anyways? Let's run a clip and let's get it going.
Well, Walmart is famous for rolling back its prices to provide consumers with quality products at competitive prices. But it turns out that while the company was protecting consumers' pocketbooks, it was not doing the same for the environment. The company has pled guilty to criminal charges of dumping hazardous waste in 16 counties across California. Walmart will now pay more than $81 million in fines for negligently disposing of waste. The illegal dumping of fertilizers and other hazardous material occurred between 2003 and 2005, but it took nearly a decade, 20 prosecutors, as well as 32 environmental groups for Walmart to plead guilty in a San Francisco court. State investigators caught wind of the dumping when one of them witnessed a Walmart employee pouring bleach down the drain. Walmart said those employees were improperly trained to handle the hazardous material.
Man, that's some incredible stuff.
Doesn't make me want to have a Coke and a smile.
Remember, Walmart is bringing you more poverty and less value each and every day. So if your shopping pleasure surrounds Chinese slave labor, make sure you attend Walmart at all costs. Let's not shop there. Okay, you get it?
Probably not a good place to spend your consumer dollars.
No, that's not going to happen. We are back again. It's a change of format right now because we're actually moving into longer specials here at Radio Free Canada.
Kind of like that part.
We're going to have more time to mock major corporations and the fact that banks don't pay taxes. Fractional reserve lending is where they make up money out of nowhere, and Walmart is where you go when you are supporting oppression worldwide.
Well, you know, our government's in the pockets of corporations anyway.
Really?
And it seems our PM was just down in South America, probably shilling for Canadian mining interests.
You're going to run this? Is that what it is?
Well, you know, there's another Canadian mining corporation that's in a little bit of trouble in Chile.
Little bit of trouble. How do you feel? Okay, hang on. Check it out.
Chile's Andean mountains hide huge deposits of gold. Barrick Gold figures it could extract as much as 18 million ounces from this site, which straddles the border with Argentina, if it could ever get started. But most people here oppose the Canadian company's project. They say it's damaging the glaciers and their health, and now the Chilean government agrees.
Our government is responsible. We want to protect the health of the people, and we also want to take care of the environment. Those projects that were approved many years ago that have problems, they have to resolve those problems to be able to definitely have the backing of the authorities.
Chile's environmental regulator has fined Barrick Gold more than $16 million for failing to contain the contaminated water at its Pascua-Lama site. It's the biggest fine possible under Chilean law. It's also ordered the company to stop working at the site until it proves it can control the waste. To refine the ore into gold, thousands of tons of cyanide and other toxic chemicals must be carried up the mountain, the highest gold mine in the world, at 5,000 meters above sea level. The people who live here believe that that's what's poisoning their water and damaging their crops. Barrick has had other problems in the past and has had to delay its multi-billion-dollar project several times. Although its operation in Argentina might go ahead, the project in Chile could be abandoned altogether if the problems continue. Haida Abbasi, Al Jazeera.
So for all of you protesters out there who are against the Enbridge Keystone big tar sands thing, remember, they might be abandoning a gold mine because of protests.
Yeah.
That's big news.
Well, there was a fine involved as well.
Yes, a big fine. The biggest fine available under Chilean law.
Yeah.
Wasn't Harper just down there?
He was in Peru, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, he was in the neighborhood while a Canadian company was getting its butt handed to it.
Yeah.
Okay. And, of course, we're not talking about accountability or responsibility there because it's making Canada money.
Well, he seems to just be a mouthpiece now for the extractive industries.
Say it's not so. I can't believe that. Actually, it is, too. They're selling it us off as fast as they can. Have you looked into the trade deals? I mean, it's NAFTA or NAFTA, TPP and all that. Crazy. Okay, please get informed. Remember, we're not telling you to trust us. Go out and test your own things. What do you got?
Well, apparently people are upset with gas prices.
You think?
And there could be a reason for that. Perhaps there might be some price fixing going on, and there is an investigation.
The European Commission's looking into whether BP, Royal Dutch Shell and Norwegian company Statoil may have colluded to manipulate oil product prices. The offices of all three were raided, along with the largest price reporting agency, Platts. So far, there have been no allegations of wrongdoing. The companies say they are cooperating. Italy's Eni revealed it's also been asked to provide information, but is not under investigation. The Commission explained why the investigation has been launched.
Even small distortions of assessed prices may have a huge impact on the price of crude oil, refined oil products, and biofuel purchases and sales, potentially harming final consumers.
The probe comes after French energy firm Total last year wrote to regulators questioning the way that oil prices are determined. That's put the spotlight on the work of the price reporting agencies. Platts and its smaller competitors argue their systems are not susceptible to manipulation, but critics in the oil industry disagree.
Pricing of black gold seems as opaque as the product itself, and the European Commission is not the first to try to look into it. But instead of examining the price that ordinary people pay at gas stations, this new inquiry is looking at possible distortion of global pricing, as decided by the price-setting agency Platts. So how does Platts decide the global price? Each day, Platts sets a figure based on the market activity of the oil companies, which use its electronic platform. The question is whether Platts' price has been manipulated and distorted by the oil companies, who are buying and selling in the same market. Because of the trillions of dollars involved, even small distortions of the Platts price would have a huge impact on the international crude market. And the investigation is not just looking at one incident, but at pricing activity during the past 10 years. Concerns are already being expressed at governmental level.
This government is deeply concerned by any allegation that prices for consumers could have been artificially or unnecessarily driven up. The UK government and regulators will provide any assistance necessary to the European investigators, and we expect the companies concerned to fully comply with these investigations.
The European Commission stresses that the raids do not mean the companies are guilty. All four firms say they are cooperating fully with investigators. If price distortion is eventually proven, then the financial penalties could be colossal and the reputational damage incalculable. But motorists hoping for imminent relief here at the petrol pumps will be disappointed. No deadline has been set for the conclusion of this inquiry, and in practice it's likely to take years rather than months. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera, London.
However, whether or not their reputation is damaged, you cannot appeal to the morality of an immoral group. Yes. I mean,
and it'll be a financial penalty. There won't be anybody going to jail.
And they're financed by banks that just make up money out of nowhere anyway, so they just get made up money to pay off those fines. And they happily go on with their jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to make an impact on these people, stop buying gasoline.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, where's this invisible hand?
Yes, yeah.
You know, it's invisible. No, it's pretty visible.
I asked our mayor, and I said, "What are we doing to get off of oil?"
Yeah.
In Kelowna, he goes, "Well," and he's baffled. He just looks at me with that stunned deer in the headlights look. He goes, I said, "Well, we should get off oil. There's no reason for us to stay on it." You know, California has rules saying you can't drive a gasoline-powered car in their city. But, far be it from us to have any innovation.
Yeah, especially seeing we live in such a large city. It's so hard to get around.
We ran it on the top of the story, or top of the hour here. We were talking about the fact that Walmart was dumping toxic waste. At any rate.
And paid a fine.
So let's do this, yes? Did you want to?
Oh, you mean we want to talk about the real thing?
In his newly re-released book, For God, Country, and Coca-Cola, Mark Pendergast explores how Coca-Cola's despicable business practices built one of the world's biggest brands. The first obvious horrible practice to start with is right in its name. Coca-Cola was named for its two principal drug ingredients, coca for cocaine and cola for the cola nut, which contains caffeine. They used World War II to establish dominance abroad. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, at the U.S. government's expense, Coke employees were dressed up in army uniforms and given the completely made-up name of technical observers. Then they were sent around the world to establish 64 bottling plants behind the lines. The plan positioned them perfectly to expand globally after the war. In the late 70s, Coca-Cola used a Guatemalan bottler who allegedly hired death squads to actually murder employees trying to unionize. Anything to keep costs low and profits high, right, Coca-Cola? The same thing happened again in Coke bottling plants in Colombia in the 1990s, as in not very long ago. Thanks in part to Coca-Cola's relentless marketing and dedication to supersizing both its products and its bottom line, sugary, devoid of nutrition sodas are the main source of calories in the American diet, according to a study out of Tufts University. So Coca-Cola might say they want to buy the world of Coke just to keep it company, but actions speak louder than words. And since the U.S. has become the United States of corporations, it's fitting that Coca-Cola would be the perfect symbol of America itself. That's the real thing.
So I learned something.
Oh, yeah?
I did not know that the American military actually set up the bottling plants. It kind of shows you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But didn't we go there to defeat fascism?
Apparently to sell fluoride and, toxic chemicals to everyone. Remember Dasani. I want you to check the ingredient list on Dasani water, bottled by Coca-Cola. The number one ingredient is a poison.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, I didn't know that. What's in there?
With Coke, I don't know which is worse, cocaine or the sugar.
I don't know. But you know what? At least we know where the cocaine is coming from.
Exactly.
Coming up, we got more. I'm Darren Howard.
I'm Robert Nisbet.
And I'm Kendra Cooper.
It's so good to be with you as we jump in on Coca-Cola's nightmare. Stay tuned. We got more coming up. And remember, municipal sustainability is on the way. Boycott Coca-Cola products and you boycott Monsanto. Golf clap for that. Yay!
Since 1971, when President Nixon took the United States off what was left of the gold standard, the world has operated under a system of money called fiat. The dollar, the pound, the euro are all government fiat currencies. Fiat is a Latin word meaning let it be so. It is the law that this government currency be money. Indeed, without that legal enforcement, and the fact that we must pay taxes in this money, that dollar bill or that computer digit that represents a dollar would be pretty much meaningless. Only the government has the power to issue fiat money, but banks can create it through lending. If somebody wants to borrow $10, a bank can create it from nowhere and lend it. It can then charge interest. Banks also create money by lending against an asset, such as a house. They're given the deeds to the house, and they create the money out of nowhere and lend it, at interest, of course. But who benefits? Of course, those that have the power to issue money, governments and banks. They haven't had to do anything productive, they just create money. However money is created, be it through lending, fractional reserve banking, financial bailouts, or old-fashioned money printing, banks are always at or near the top of the money-issuing pyramid. In reality, This process of creating money only redistributes wealth from the bottom to the top of the pyramid. And thus that ever-increasing gulf between rich and poor gets bigger and bigger and bigger.